Hi, Patrick from OntarioBeerKegs. Today we got our sample of the RoboBrew with pump brought up here to go through it and compare it to the Grainfather, again with the pump. Both of these are rims systems and they're both 35-liter capacity. When you look at them, the first thing you're going to notice is the repurposed coffee urns with some pumps and some electronics put onto it. The biggest difference between the two is the Grainfather is the brand name unit. It's made by iMake and they're big in Australia and New Zealand. This one is made by Keg King and they're big in Australia as well. These were the first guys on the market. This is one of the competitors coming out. The Grainfather comes straight out of the box with every part that you need, with their counterflow chiller and a bunch of hoses and stuff. They get a win on this part, whereas the RoboBrew, their chiller was missing some hoses. You're going to have to get yourself $10 to $20 worth of parts to get this one up and running. Not a deal breaker, considering this is almost half the cost. This counterflow chiller for this is also designed to sit on top of the unit as you work, whereas the chiller for this model is an immersion style where you'll put it inside your pot. I would consider it a tie. We'll have to see how they chill, but this one's a little bit cleaner, this one's a little bit fancier. It's really hard to tell who wins on that. The other big things, the Grainfather, being a repurposed coffee urn, they kind of just stuck everything on the outside of it with an STC type controller and the pump in this exterior housing here, which does make it easy for access, but it also makes it clunky and cluttery, whereas everything's kept in the inside of the RoboBrew. I like the design better. I find it to be a little bit cleaner. The outside shape and size of the units are pretty much the same. The lids are interchangeable. The colanders are interchangeable. The handles are a nice touch on this one when it gets hot. You can actually open it up with the handles, whereas they don't have the handles on this model because they can't, because the design puts the chiller on as an afterthought. Your return flow pipes are pretty much identical for both the units. This one has a one-way check valve in it, this one does not. Really, it's not going to serve too much of a utility or benefit to have it. It's a little bit more over-engineered than it needs to be on this model as compared to this model. The biggest thing I find is the handles. Huge fail. The handles make it very much easier to move these units around. This unit here, you can't really move it. There's nowhere to get your hands onto it and move it around once you got it heated up. It's a real pain in the arse. This unit also has a ball valve, which is a fail on the Grainfather side. You get a stuck sparge on this, which is one of the more common problems. You're going to have a hard time getting it cleaned up and fixed. Inside the unit, I swear the colanders are identical with the false bottom and the gasket system for it. They sit on the spindle. They're interchangeable and you already played around with them. The inside of the Grainfather will have your mechanics set up inside of it, your pump filter, which was what looks like 2mm hoses, which sits with the silicone part onto it, and your temperature probe will sit inside of it as well. Whereas the RoboBrew, they have an additional false bottom on it instead of a little filter. We haven't played with it yet, but I believe the additional false bottom stop your hot material is going to be a lot more effective and less chance of clogging compared to that unit. The inside of the unit has basically got your return for your pump to get into the inside of it, and it's also got your sensor for your electronics thermostat. control both your heating elements individually. Well, after brew on them, I don't think we're going to get any major difference between the two units. I don't think there's going to be any difference in efficiency or your process flow. It's basically this model here is a little bit more refined and shinier. If you like the external parts. This one, if the ball valve didn't look stupid, would be a way better cosmetically looking unit. So we'll brew with it in the coming weeks, and we'll get some volunteers up here, and then we'll see what we think of the two. Thank you.